Okay, hello friends. Today we will be discussing an important topic of general pathology, that is apoptosis. So we'll be discussing the process of apoptosis and also some small terms which look similar to apoptosis. Okay. So let me first write the definition of apoptosis. So apoptosis means so apoptosis means A for apple, A for apple, A for apple means active process. It's an active process. Means it's an energy dependent process. Why it's an energy dependent process? Because mitochondria will be involved here. Okay. Now, what things should fit? What things should fit in the definition of apoptosis? What things should fit in the definition of apoptosis? So, apoptosis should be, if you tell me, sir, no, usually we say it's a program, but we lag behind in some words. What program? It's basically an enzyme mediated cell death. Once you are putting some, I told you, if you are giving a sort of a stress, it can be any stress. And if that stress is causing a functional compromise, a functional damage to the cell's own internal, a country, for example, a state has its own functional processes happening. Okay. And there are also policies there is checkpoints also, isn't it? There are checkpoints like a surveillance. So this surveillance system, if it is having a scanner inside and it detects that there is a functional damage inside the cell or a functional compromise, it starts the process of apoptosis. So that means apoptosis should be programmed. That's why you call it's a program. Apoptosis is enzyme mediated. Apoptosis is appropriate response to the functional damage. Response should be by, let me write first and then we can understand. Response should be, because some people write in the comments, sir, please write, and that I always keep speaking, so let me try to write. Response should be, what I can say, response should be, response should be by the cell's internal scanning system, or you can say surveillance, or cell's internal watch. Okay. So you can say also some sort of a watchdog sort of a thing. So these things is what is the concept of apoptosis, that it should be programmed and it should happen through enzymes and should not attract any inflammation. Apoptosis should not attract any inflammation. And whatever enzymes are there that we will be learning, the caspases, those caspases are programming the cell death. And either one cell will be getting apoptosed or groups of cells will be getting apoptosed. But for our purposes, we are studying one cell, same will happen to the other cells. Okay. See, there are some, there is confusion in understanding apoptosis. Okay. So I would try to make it, descriptive and, concise way, try to let you remember this. See, apoptosis has two pathways. Listen to me first. Apoptosis has two pathways. Intrinsic pathway, extrinsic pathway. And what should happen is these two processes, these two pathways should activate some cytosolic proteases. They should finally activate some cytosolic proteases. Cytosolic proteases. These cytosolic proteases are known as, there was a teacher who used to say this, is known as caspases. Is known as caspases. Okay, these are known as caspases. And these caspases will take the charge. These will take the charge of doing what? Of doing what? They will either shrink the cell, condense the chromatin, um, blab changes in the cellular membrane, blab changes. I hope you understood blabbing. You know, do you know I'm talking about caspases? Okay, so this will cause uh, formation of apoptotic bodies, and finally the cell will be phagocytosed. This is the concept. And I told you last time that if you have to destroy a nucleus, you can do what? You can do pycnosis. Or if it is the event of dying, you know, uh, there can be, eosinophilic cytoplasm. Pycnosis, eosinophilic cytoplasm. There can be basophilic nucleus. These are all the changes you can appreciate under the microscope of an apoptotic cell. And nucleus, what will happen? Nucleus pycnosis, carrier hexes. I have taught you carrier means your hexes, fragmentation. Okay. Now, how, what should be the characteristic of apoptosis? What should be the characteristic of apoptosis? That it is not able to tell the, everything is happening inside. Some person, he says heartbreak is inside, people saying some, no, I don't know what is it, but heartbreak is happening inside. People don't know what has happened to heart inside, isn't it? People don't know about the situations of my heart, isn't it? I'm talking about a poetic way. So same is happening, that this cell is getting apoptosed and nearby cell does not know that this is getting killed, this is dying, and even the police is not knowing that it is dying. This is the blood circulation. Macrophages are moving. Macrophages are even touching them, seeing them, recognizing them. Macrophages are checking them even, but they see they are normal. But that is the beauty of this process. If every process of the body attracted inflammation, that body could have been inflammation always. Right now, I don't know how many thousands of cells are undergoing apoptosis. Right now in my body, living body, there hair cell will be undergoing apoptosis, a skin cell is undergoing apoptosis, what I can say, see, okay, how many organs can you think? Okay, so this is the concept that once you are removing the cell membrane, or once you are destroying the integrity of cell membrane, or once you are discontinuing the cell membrane, you are increasing the discontinuity. This will attract inflammation. This will involve, if you can use the word marked inflammation. So this will attract inflammation. Once you are giving a discontinuity in the cell membrane structure, this will attract, because cell body can't tolerate that its cell is not having membrane. I have told this statement last time in the previous videos. Okay. So this is just an overview I gave you before starting this topic. The basic is this. The story runs around these things. This is the roadmap we have to follow. So we have understood. Apoptosis is a programmed cell death. Apoptosis is an enzymatic process. Apoptosis is a appropriate response to the functional machinery damage of the cell. Okay. Now let me talk in detail. Let me tell you first, there is another apoptosis that is called anoikis. What is anoikis? What is anoikis, guys? Friends, what is anoikis? Anoikis means, for example, this is a cell, and cell has cellular adhesion molecules. If these cellular adhesion molecules are lost by any way, if you lose them by any way, we call it, this will stimulate apoptosis. This is called anoikis. No, that's okay. That's also, but I am telling, if the loss of adhesion molecules is happening and that is stimulating apoptosis. See, I have written this. It is stimulating apoptosis. That will be called anoikis. How people understand? Okay. So basically, why this apoptosis is happening? See, apoptosis is physiological. It is pathological also. Okay. Pathological things can stimulate apoptosis. Physiologically, see, physiologically, I can say, if you have to, let me give you the physiological causes of apoptosis, why it is dying. Physiological causes of apoptosis, there are so many. There is, intestinal epithelium, destruction, endometrial, involution, prostate involution. I can say neutrophils after the acute inflammatory response has subsided. Uh, you know, Even the lymphocytes which have not been trained very nicely will be deleted because of their autoimmunity nature at that point of time. So I can summarize it in one way. Let me make you write these things. So first thing you should write is uh, remodeling in embryogenesis. Okay, this is one you can write. So what happens? See, I will give you an example. You see, I taught you last time in the reproductive histology. I gave a correlation at that point that once you are putting some hormones, a male hormone on a thing which is predetermined to form something, if you put that factor on it, that is estrogen or testosterone, that will form into that organ. Means if it's a male baby, then more of the androgen should be produced, more of the testosterone should be produced, and that should go in the male side, that is from the male genitalia. Okay, in male fetus, that you have a factor in your Sertoli cells. In male fetus, you have a factor. Okay, that factor is Miss. See, Miss was for female, but Miss here is for male. That is Mullerian inhibitory substance. I hope you understand this. Mullerian inhibitory substance. Now, Mullerian inhibitory substance. Now, where did you saw Mullerian inhibitory substance? Can anyone recall from that point? Where did you saw this substance? No. I'm not saying. I am saying Sertoli cell is okay. Okay, I write here Sertoli. I am telling no. It is basically present more in a Mullerian structure. Mullerian structure. What do Mullerian structure do? They will produce what female organs. Remember, whenever you have a word Mullerian, Mullerian means you are going this M. This is not actually M. This is so. Guys, listen again. If I am giving Mullerian inhibitory substance, I can see your doubts in the chat box. I am telling if there is Mullerian inhibitory substance that will inhibit. But right now I am telling if I have a Mullerian structure that will form a female structure. Okay. So, but if I am giving Mullerian inhibitory substance, so this was forming female organ. But once I give an inhibitory substance, this Mullerian will not form a female organ. That means he will become male. Are we able to understand? So this can be example of what? What? Apoptosis. Okay. So this will destroy these cells, Mullerian structures. So Mullerian structures will get apoptosed. Mullerian structure, apoptosed. Okay. Next example I can give you is, once you have formation of upper limb, you have formation of fingers. And now you want what? Spaces between these fingers. This will happen by apoptosis. This will happen by apoptosis. How we will understand, guys? So what is this called? What is this called, by the way? If this is a fetus, this is the fetus. Okay. So what is this called? What is this called, guys? What is this structure from your embryology? This is limb bud, an upper limb bud. This is an upper limb bud. Now you want this tissue, this tissue is called interdigital tissue. This interdigital tissue, you want this to be what? Apoptosed. If you don't apoptose this, you will have a condition that is called syndactyly. This condition is called syndactyly. That means your fingers will be joined. Okay, like this. There is a failure of apoptosis. Okay, so if there is any sort of a defect, any sort of a malfunction of this apoptosis will cause syndactyly. That is fusion of two or more fingers, isn't it? Are we able to understand, guys? Now see, what happens is, once during the, if I give you another example from, female physiology, what happens is once there is, that normally there is estrogen and progesterone in the female blood circulation, but during the menstrual cycle, what happens? Estrogen and progesterone, they will suddenly get, they will disappear. They will disappear from the blood circulation, and this stimulates the process of apoptosis. This stimulates the process of apoptosis. So that means hormone, the tissues which are dependent on the hormones for the growth factors, for their functioning, if you withdraw those hormones, those factors, that will cause what? That will cause apoptosis, like your endometrial tissue, endometrial gland. Endometrial gland. So this endometrial gland, once the apoptosis is happening, okay, I think I have drawn a very big gland, isn't it? I should make like this. So see, this is the uterus. I haven't properly drawn it just for representation purposes. This is the endometrial layer. Okay, this has proliferated. And now once from the blood circulation, E and P has disappeared, what will happen is you will start what? The process of dash, menses. Because of dash, apoptosis. Okay, so at least you remember this is apoptosis from this concept. Okay. Do you know from the previous concept of lecture 1 of atrophy and hypertrophy, lecture 1 of cell adaptations I have made? In the lecture 1 of cell adaptations, I taught you the mechanism of atrophy. I taught you the mechanism of atrophy. In the atrophy, I told you once you were giving a thyroid stimulating hormone to the thyroid was a nice shape. Why once you were given adrenocorticotrophic hormone to the adrenal gland, it was very nicely shaped. Once you were given follicle stimulating hormone, the follicles were nicely shaped. There was a normal mechanism happening and the tissue was in a nice consistency. But once you remove those factors, once you remove the TSH, which is being secreted by the anterior pituitary, will is disappearing. That means the thyroid is not getting the growth factor, because I taught you this is acting as a growth factor. So this will lead to atrophy. So atrophy should happen because cells should decrease. If I had originally, I had this thyroid gland and I had how many cells? For example, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So I had 10 cells and now I am not giving the TSH. What will happen? They will start decreasing their size. So that means these cells should die. They will die by apoptosis. They will die by apoptosis. So meaning thereby there has to be a need. There is actually a need of the growth factor, the hormone, to keep the tissue in a nice consistency, to keep the tissue in a nice, the functional. It should be functional, remain functional. It will only happen once you're giving that growth factor. Otherwise, will start the process of apoptosis, and finally will lead to the atrophy. Will lead to the atrophy. So you can relate atrophy with apoptosis. Once you have to kill the cells very nicely, you don't want to murder, you want to kill it by nice and clean way, then you can produce apoptosis. So if you want to destroy a cell in a clean way without telling the macrophages, without telling the inflammatory cytokines, without telling the all the cells of inflammation, then you should proceed with the step of apoptosis. You should proceed with the step of apoptosis. Okay. Now, what happens? Another example I can give in the physiological, way apoptosis is happening. Once you have, for example, this is a piece of tissue, and what you have is there is an injury. Injury happens, and what happens? Inflammatory cytokines and inflammatory mediators of inflammation will come, and cells of inflammation will come. There will be exudate production. So many things, all the changes of inflammation, which I will be teaching you in the lecture. Next topics. What happens? This is a blood vessel and all the cells are migrating here. Once they have finished their process of inflammation, once they are fighting, for example, I take neutrophils, are the cells of acute inflammation, and neutrophils will arrive at the spot like a police and they will try to destroy this pathogen, or they will try to mend this process where there is a breach. They will try to fibrin and all that will accumulate so that bleeding is stopped. They are trying to maintain, stabilize the situation, but you have done everything. Now what should happen is these neutrophils have finished their work and they have their lifespan also. So after the acute inflammatory response has subsided, I can use the word subsided, they should get killed. They don't have they have done their work. So they will die by apoptosis. Are we able to understand, guys? Okay. Now, another example I can give you. For example, this is a bone marrow. Bone marrow, I think I have made a building or an edge, okay? But this is for representation purpose. Here I have erythropoiesis, isn't it? I have cell lines getting developed here. All my cell lines of blood are getting developed here. The basic cell lines, the generations which are coming, okay? Now I take one lymphocyte, and this lymphocyte, if I take a T lymphocyte, now T lymphocyte is getting trained in which school? Thymus school. This is the thymus school where T cell is getting trained. T cell is getting trained for what? It is being taught in this school that hello T cell, you have to kill only foreign antigens. You have to love self antigens. You have to love self antigens. Any person in your body who is showing you the ID card of that person, you should not kill him or her. Are we able to understand? So any cell while you are checking, you find that the ID card resembles that person. For example, John is a person and cells of John should have John antigen. They should have John antigen, isn't it? If they have John antigen, then the lymphocytes are also John. Lymphocytes are also John. So John and John friends. John and John friends. But what if during the training, what happens? What happens? This T cell becomes what? Aggressive or something, is being mistrained, is being the modification, the differentiation is not happening very nicely. The differentiation, there is a lag in differentiation, or it is having an impaired differentiation. What will happen? Before it goes into the circulation and kills my own cells, what I do, I start the process of apoptosis itself in this thymus. So I kill those T cells which will kill self antigens, which are against the self antigens. So this is the beauty process of this apoptosis, that I am able to save myself. So what we do is T cell is getting apoptosed if it is killing your own cell. If it is having that CD markers, or it is getting it is getting differentiated in such a way that it will kill your own cells, then you should start the process of apoptosis. Body will normally start this. Okay, so self-reactive lymphocytes undergo apoptosis. There are so many examples I can give. I have another example. While you are doing, for example, I can give you an example, okay, a simple example. For example, I have this tissue. Now what happens, if you want to make a building, what will happen is you need material, you need bricks, you need, extracellular material. You can understand my words. You need cells, you need extracellular material, and you need some cell junctions, and you need some, you need oxygen, and you need fibroblasts to make this house. Okay. So do you want more roads and more trucks to come to your home so that the work is faster? Do you want the goods to arrive fast? Not goods actually, goods are prepared things. Raw material to come to your house. Yes, you would. So do you want more vessels? Do you want more vessels? Do you want more vessels to arrive at this point so that blood is supplied more? So this is the concept of neovascularization. This is the concept of neovascularization. In the concept of neovascularization, you are forming new vessels. And once you are forming new vessels, you will have more blood supply. You will have more supply of nutrients. You will have more supply of oxygen. You will have more supply of fibroblasts. You will have more supply of those building blocks which you need to produce a tissue. But once you have constructed a home, do you want any supply now? No, sir. We only want one road now. We only want one blood supply. We can live on that one blood supply. So what we do is we kill these all blood vessels by apoptosis. We kill these all blood vessels by apoptosis. Are we able to understand? Guys, are we able to understand the physiological apoptosis? Is it having any inflammation? Did I talk of any cytokine? Did I talk of any, killing abscess formation? Did I talk anything about abscess and inflammation and fibrinoid necrosis, coagulative necrosis in this apoptosis? No, that means apoptosis is a merciful killing. Okay, it's not. I can't say merciful killing means it's not murder. It's not murder. Okay, I will understand. Okay, so I believe that the concept of apoptosis is that once a thing is getting useless in the body, once a thing is not able to properly function, it should be killed, so that at least what proteins we can get from that cell that can be mobilized for the formation of new cells, that can be mobilized for the formation of new cells, isn't it? Isn't it a common sense? Nature is working like that. It does not waste anything. You have 100 grams of protein moving in the blood, and you have at the same time you have a positive protein balance and a negative protein balance. So sometimes you have catabolism is happening, at the same time anabolism is happening. It's trying to save those amino acids, it's trying to save those lipids, it's trying to save those glucose molecules, and converting them, supplying them to form something else which is useful. Okay, that is the motto of getting this apoptosis also. Next thing what I can remember, another example I can give you. For example, what is happening is, what example can I give you? thymus gland. Thymus gland, once your age is increasing, the thymus regresses, the thymus atrophies. We don't use the word atrophy word, we say involution. Okay, so involution of thymus, is due to apoptosis. Okay, so if it is a physiological involution, then it should be a part of apoptosis. Okay, do you know that once you are giving a steroid therapy, to a person, what happens? I told you steroid is anti-inflammatory. So what will happen to those B and T cells? Corticosteroid will initiate apoptosis. It will induce apoptosis and will kill what? B cells, T cells. It will kill B cells and T cells. Okay. Now another thing I can tell you. For example, I have a misfolded protein. Because why, sir, it became misfolded? Or I had, I had a DNA damage in a cell, be it free radical, be it radiation, be it chemical injury, be it physical stress, be it heat. I destroyed my DNA. What will happen is I have to remove this cell. This cell will be removed by apoptosis. Now, you normally need this folding protein, for example, and what happens is you are getting this, the folding is not appropriate, it's incorrect. So incorrect protein will be inactive. For example, amyloidosis. For example, you have beta plaques, beta amyloids in Alzheimer's. You have, Prions disease. Prions, isn't it? Prion proteins in CJD. What is CJD? Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. So this all can come under the removal of, or you have SLE, systemic lupus erythematosus. Systemic lupus erythematosus. We have a problem. The problem is that there is, there is a problem with the apoptosis. Okay. I can tell you in short is what happens is, if I want, normally what happens is, in the SLE, what happens, if I destroy a cell by necrosis, what happens that DNA can come out, or the cellular contents can come out, and these cellular contents are antigens. Okay. So if in SLE, apoptosis is not happening nicely, that will lead to what? This condition. Okay. So I will be teaching you that in the SLE, don't worry about that. But here, just remember that we have also some diseases where we have more apoptosis happening. If there is more apoptosis happening, for example, if I go to neurology, any neurodegenerative disorder diseases, that will have what? More amount of apoptosis. Okay, so it's not that apoptosis is always beneficial. More amount of apoptosis can cause, injury even to the cell. Okay, so this is the concept you have to remember. Okay, so another thing I want to tell you is, this was about physiology. Pathological, once you are giving any radiotherapy, once you are giving any, cytotoxic chemotherapy, okay, these will they will stimulate even not only apoptosis, these will stimulate necrosis. Do you know it? Once you give a stimuli which is very much severe, what are the examples of severe stimuli? Anyone? Who can tell me the examples of severe stimuli? What do we mean by severe stimuli?
Radiation.
What do you mean by severe stimuli? Severe stimuli means any cytotoxic activity. Radiotherapy, no. Radiotherapy, guys. Don't give something else. Radiotherapy, these are examples of severe stimuli. What they will do is, they will start what? Apoptosis plus necrosis. Apoptosis can happen and necrosis can also happen. Okay. Do you know, I have an example of, that's an important example, in viral hepatitis. In viral hepatitis, there is a, in the micro, in the laboratory, in the pathology lab, you can appreciate some councilman bodies. Councilman bodies. These are the councilman bodies are actually apoptotic bodies. These are apoptotic bodies. Apoptotic bodies, which happens in viral hepatitis. Okay. Is it clear, guys? Now, guys, see, we have discussed this. So what will happen now is, one concept you have to remember in apoptosis. One concept you have to remember in apoptosis is, you should not bring, one concept you have to remember is, the mitochondria is having inside cytochrome C. Just remember like this. Cytochrome C is in the mitochondria. The cell has to try its best and do its best. If it wants to prevent apoptosis, it has to maintain the cellular integrity of mitochondrial membrane to prevent the escape of cytochrome C. That is what is normally happening in anti-apoptosis. That is, the cell is living. But once you have release of cytochrome C from inner mitochondrial, I should say, inner mitochondrial membrane, now we are in a fix. Things will start once this cytochrome C comes in, because this is mitochondria. This is mitochondria and it's present inside the cell. Now this is the cytoplasm of the cell. So this cytochrome, once it leaks into the cytoplasm, it will start the process of apoptosis. How? It will activate the caspase pathway. It will activate the caspase pathway. And caspases are the enzymes, you can say, of apoptosis. I have taught you yesterday the definition. So the cell has to, if it has to become anti-apoptotic, it has to prevent the cytochrome C release from the inner mitochondrial membrane into the cytoplasm. If cytochrome C is released from the inner mitochondrial membrane into the cytoplasm, will start activation of caspases. So there should be some person, so that now how we think about this concept is like this. What we say is, normally we say that there are pores in the mitochondrial membrane. There are pores in the mitochondrial membrane. And we say these pores, if you have to prevent cytochrome C, you should plug these pores. You should plug these pores so that you can't release the cytochrome C. Now I plug these pores. And I will prevent the release of cytochrome C. I'll prevent the release of cytochrome C. So this plug, the name of the plug, let me make a plug for you. The plug name is 3-pin plug. This 3-pin plug is known as, what? BCL2 family. BCL2. How will you understand? So, sir, that's an interesting thing. You said you have pores and pores are plugged. That means, sir, I can think logically. If I think more about this concept, that means a cancer cell should be able to produce more plugs. That means a cancer cell should be able to produce more plugs, more 3-pin plugs. Why 3-pin plug? Don't think that it's 3-pin. I'm just letting you understand. Are we clear? Friends, is the voice clear? Is everything clear? There is no reply. Yeah. So this BCL2 is plugging. It is plugging these ports. That means if a cell has to become a cancer cell, it should express more BCL2. That means it should express more BCL2. That means if you express more BCL2, that means you are expressing more anti-apoptotic genes. Because we said yesterday, BCL2, BCLXL, these are all anti-apoptotic genes. And we said Bux and Bach. Now see, there is one concept what you forget is BCL2 is a family. BCL2 is a family. Now in that family, you have Bux and Bach, BCL2, BCLXL. If I tell you simply BCL2, if I say something BCL2, it means BCL2 itself. That means it's a plug. When I say BCL2 family, then it should be Bach, BCL2, BCLX. So that's what is the best example I can give you in the where you have more expression of BCL2. It's follicular lymphoma where we have translocation of 1418. Translocation 1418 is follicular lymphoma, and that is what you see in follicular lymphoma, that BCL2 expression is more. That means a cancer cell should a cancer cell to become a cancer cell. For example, in case of follicular lymphoma, translocation 1418 should be able to produce more amount of BCL2, will lead to decreased activation of caspases. And that's what is the basis of tumor formation in follicular lymphoma. Is this concept clear? Now, that means if I have to remember, again I will speak, if I have to prevent apoptosis, that means I should not expose cytochrome C. Cytochrome C is like a girl. It is like a girl, very beautiful and what we call very nice looking girl, pretty girl. Once cytoplasm will see it, you should normally keep it within the mitochondrial membrane. But once you put it in the cytoplasm, it will attract caspases. People will die. Okay. So it will activate the caspases and will start the process of apoptosis. That's again I'm repeating. Now second thing I want to add. If you want to start the process of apoptosis, that means you should remove these plugs. That means you should start the cytochrome C to exit. That means when cytochrome C will exit, that will come into the cytoplasm, will activate the caspase pathway, will lead to apoptotic body formation and finally the apoptosis. That is the basis, isn't it? So see, how to sir learn, because what happens is once we finish learning, after 5 days you won't remember it. I would say you should always go for this approach. First, what you do is you have to remember there are 2 pathways to do apoptosis. Just first understand this basic concept. We have 2 pathways to start apoptosis. So one is the intrinsic pathway of apoptosis. Another one is the extrinsic pathway of apoptosis. Intrinsic pathway is also known as mitochondrial pathway. Okay, and extrinsic pathway is also known as death receptor pathway. Okay, you can use the other words. So death receptor pathway or intrinsic pathway. Okay, Death receptor. Guys, is it clear? See, a receptor is outside. Receptor is outside always like that. So think like the receptor is outside. So extrinsic. Intrinsic means mitochondria is inside. So it should be intrinsic path. Easy. So either way, you can start the process of apoptosis in a cell either by a mitochondrial pathway, that is the intrinsic pathway, or extrinsic pathway, that is um, death receptor pathway. How is this pathway working and how it is starting that process of apoptosis? Now have full focus here. I will like to draw a simple 4 or 5 lines for you so that you can remember. See what we do. Every time you have to practice this pathway, what you do is you make an executionary caspase in the center. First you have to write executioner caspase. This is what I found useful. Executioner caspase. You bring an executioner caspase. So we have initiator caspases. Let me tell you first, we have caspases, initiator caspases, executionary, which will finally end the cell. Executionary caspase. Okay. Now intrinsic pathway, what will happen? I will like to draw intrinsic pathway from this side and extrinsic pathway from this side. Extrinsic pathway from this side. Okay. Intrinsic pathway from this side, extrinsic pathway from that side. Please have full focus. We are inside the cell. Okay, we are inside the cell. Right now we are inside the cell. Let us make the boundaries of the cell. We are inside the cell. Okay, let me put this extrinsic pathway like this. Okay, we are inside the cell. Okay, the intracell. And I give you one example. For example, my DNA in the cell got damaged by radiation, or I got hypoxia, or I got the reactive oxygen species. Okay, now reactive oxygen species, they will activate a gene, that is P53. P53. P53 will activate Box and Bach. Can anyone of you tell me what is Box and Bach? Can anyone of you tell me what is Box and Bach? It's so easy, guys. X means kill. I have given you B for bad. BAX and BAK. Pro-apoptotic genes. That's a beautiful answer. That's what I was searching for. Okay. So they will start activating Box and Bach. Now Box and Bach will increase the, now this is I am right now talking about intrinsic pathway. So once this thing is happening, this is my mitochondria. Let us make mitochondria like this. Wow, I have drawn it in some other way. Let us draw like this. I am drawing a mitochondria after so much long time. Okay, what I have drawn, I don't know what I have drawn. Sorry, I will again draw. After a long time, I'm drawing a mitochondria. Really, just draw like this. Okay, now it's okay. Okay, so this is the mitochondria. Okay, now what will happen? This Box and Bach will activate this. They will, I can say they will remove the holes. Now you had which protein you had there? Which protein you had there, guys? Which protein was the plug? Which protein was the plug? BCL2. Very nice. BCL2. Now BCL2 is getting replaced by what? what is BCL2 getting replaced by? It's getting replaced by Bach and Bach. That plug is gone. Remember that plug is gone. The plug is gone. The plug is gone, and you are right now, beginning the process of leakage of mitochondrial proteins. Mitochondrial proteins will leak out. Now who is coming out? Cytochrome C will come out. What will come out? Cytochrome C will come out. Now it has digged the pores here. Now cytochrome C, which was inside, let us give a different color for this. Cytochrome C, which was inside, is now outside. Cytochrome C is now outside. It has come out because of Bach and Bach. Okay, they opened it. Cytochrome C is now out. Cytochrome C is out now. Okay, guys. Now cytochrome C is out. I had that very nice person BCL2. He is gone. BCL2 was 2. BCL2 was 2. He was a very nice person. BCL2 was so nice person. But unfortunately, he is gone because the cell is now going to die. It's now hospitalized. You are in the hospital on the deathbed, ready to no, you have now given the cytochrome C out, and you know now I am going to die. But the death is not a way, it's not a merciless killing or something. It's just a normal process of the body. Apoptosis. Now this cytochrome C will activate initiator caspases. It will activate initiator caspases. It will activate initiator caspases. It has activated initiator caspases. Now, initiator caspase, one of the example I can give is caspase 9. I will tell you the caspase story later, okay? So, right now you can remember, it will initiate. By the way, which chromosome has BCL2G? By the way, BCL2G in which chromosome? Chromosome number 18. Chromosome number 18 has BCL2, okay? Remember this. Chromosome number 18 has BCL2. Okay, fine. So what will happen is you will start the activation of initiator caspases, and initiator caspase, you can write caspase 9. Okay, so initiator caspase will activate executionary caspases. You know, basically executionary caspases not directly. Actually, executionary caspases are, sort of, regulated by effector caspases. Okay, do you know that? Basically, who is helping in the activation of executioner caspase? It is effector caspase. Which are effector caspases? It is protease and endonuclease. They are mediating, I can say, a mediation part they have. Okay, so initiator caspase, for example, the caspase 9, they will activate. Now, sir, you have activated the caspase 9. What will happen? Executionary caspases will come into play. What are executionary caspase? I will tell you. If initiator caspase is 9, then executionary caspase should be odd number. It should be 3. It should be 6. No, 3, 6, and 7. Okay, remember like this. 3, 6, 7. Executionary caspases. How would you understand? Initiator caspase, caspase 9. Initiator caspase, caspase 9. Executionary caspase, caspase 3, 6, 7. Okay, this is how I remember. There are so many caspases. So this is how I remember. Executionary, initiator. So initiator caspases have stimulated the executionary caspases. Okay, have stimulated the executionary caspase. I should have drawn this effector caspases where? In here. I have drawn it in a wrong place. I should have drawn it here. mediating. They are mediating. Okay, they are mediating. So they are mediating. They are mediating the executioner caspase. I am going too slow so that you can understand easily. Okay, that's what every medical student forgets. If you make this diagram and make it like the way I have drawn, then it will help you. Okay, so you are initiator caspases and this is the effector executioner caspase, and executioner caspase is 3 6 7 3 6 7. Okay, now what will this executioner caspase do? That I won't tell you. That I won't tell you right now. So sir, at least we have known that how executioner caspase is stimulated by this pathway. Are you understand? Is intrinsic pathway clear? Is intrinsic pathway clear? Guys, is intrinsic pathway clear? Yeah, intrinsic pathway is clear. Now listen. I told you there is another pathway, that is extrinsic pathway, also known as death receptor pathway. There is another pathway that is similar to extrinsic pathway, that is the granzyme pathway, perforin pathway, which is directly stimulating the executioner caspases. So what happens in the the extrinsic pathway is, I will tell you a story. Okay, can we start a story? Can we start a story, guys? Can we start a story? Yeah, can start a story. Let us take this executionary caspase for story purposes here. Okay, then we will not make this diagram bad. See, guys, this is my cell. This is my cell. Okay, this is the cell. This is the cell. Okay, I have death receptors already present on the cell surface. I have, how to make death? How to make death, guys? Death receptors are already present. Death. This is death. Let me make death. See how to make death. This is death. D for death. I already have death receptors on my surface. And they will only be activated once I get bound by some ligand. A specific ligand binds to me. A specific ligand binds to me. And then I will get activated. See, ligand has now started. Okay, ligand bind itself. This is ligand. Okay, this pink color, this is a ligand. Okay, now this ligand, the best ligand we know, the ligand which has been seen. First, let me tell you what are the examples of death receptor. I can give you the best example is TNFR1. TNFR1 is called tumor necrosis factor receptor 1. So I can make it TNFR1. So I have a receptor that is TNFR1. Okay. Now tell me one thing. Tell me one thing. This is a shop. This is an Arabian shop. Mostly you will see Arab people coming here. Arab shop, Arabian food. I'm in a foreign country. Arabian people will go here, isn't it? Same thing. Tumor necrosis factor will go to tumor necrosis factor receptor. Like stands with like. That's how mechanisms of body are happening. Homeostasis are happening. So in this case, if I have to start the process of apoptosis, what I will be doing is on the receptor, that is the TNFR1, tumor necrosis factor receptor 1, that is equal to death receptor, that is equal to happening in the extrinsic pathway of apoptosis, will get bound by a ligand. A ligand is TNF. So this purple should be TNF. This purple should be ligand. Ligand is equal to TNF alpha. TNF alpha binds to TNFR1, and what will happen now? Who is, by the way, producing TNF alpha? TNF alpha is produced by what? Who is producing TNF alpha? TNF alpha is being produced in cases of any inflammation, in carcinomas, in cancer. Cachexia is happening because of this. You can it's produced by now I want to tell you what are producing TNF alpha. TNF alpha is produced by what? It's produced by macrophages. It is produced by endothelial cells. They all have the potential of producing TNF alpha. T cells, because TNF alpha, so T cells, mast cells, neurons, cardiac myocytes. Okay, these all can produce TNF alpha. Now, once this combination is happening, once they are hugging to each other, once TNF-alpha and TNF-alpha, these are hugging each other, what will happen? They will directly, listen to my words, the word is important, direct activation of initiator caspase. They will directly activate the initiator caspase. Once you directly stimulate the initiator caspase, that will stimulate the executionary caspase. So executioner caspase will be activated. Have we reached this pathway again or not? So extrinsic pathway, let me make a receptor for you. Somebody was writing FAS also. Yeah, FAS is also there. FAS receptor is like this, and FAS ligand will add here. Yes, so Digbal. So this FAS ligand will add here. FAS ligand will, so FAS is, once FAS is bound by FAS ligand, it will start the activation of but I gave you TNF because you will be reading so many diseases. That's why it will help you understand apoptosis. Okay, guys. Is there any doubt? Okay. So, now you have produced what? You have activated the caspase. Which caspase? Initiator caspase, caspase 8 and caspase 10. You have activated the initiator caspase, caspase 8, caspase 10. Initiator caspase. Now this initiator caspase will stimulate dash. This will stimulate effector. Again the same thing, guys. Effector caspases. It will stimulate the effector caspases. I told you they are mediators. They are mediators in the killing. Now, sir, you have activated effector caspases, protease and endonuclease. And sir, you have started the executionary caspases. What will happen? Now, effects. What will happen? Who can tell me? Who can tell me? You will directly write apoptotic bodies, isn't it? You will write apoptosis. That's what you write always. You make things so much straightforward that, yeah, that we have already told. Protease activation, endonuclease activation, they will destroy nucleus. There will be carrier hexes. What will happen now? What will executioner caspase do? Let us make executioner caspase. Let us make like this, guys, to have a clean understanding of apoptosis. That's a beautiful concept, really. Now, what can this executioner caspase do? Inside the cell, it can start what processes? Okay, let me take another pen, green pen, but it's doing red things. Green pen. Executioner caspase will destroy nucleus because you have activated the endonuclease. So nuclear carrier hexes, that is fragmentation. Carrier hexes will happen. Now your cell has cytoskeleton, which are pillars of your cell. They are shaping your cell. Well, you have to destroy them because you have to make a body. Once you have to throw garbage in a, you have a bag, rubbish bag, and you want to put things in it, you will try to make things smaller and smaller so that the bag can accumulate more. The bag can accommodate more. So what will happen? This is also doing the same thing. These are big cells, and you have to destroy these pillars so that the cell can be made into an oval shape or something, so that I can put it in that rubbish bag. So what we will do is a nuclear carrier hexes then there will be cytoskeleton fragmentation. Okay, cytoskeleton fragmentation. Once you have done all this, you have actually destroyed the main things of the cell. What is remaining, guys, now? Nothing. Is there anything remaining? There is nothing remaining, sir. What will finally happen is you will come to a point. This executionary caspase has done everything, guys. Okay. See, what was the difference between the two is in the intrinsic pathway, you were activating the cytochrome C and C was saying 810. C was telling to 810. Okay. You can use any name of caspase. It was telling these caspases that start. Initiator caspases, you should start. Cytochrome C was doing this. But in death receptor pathway, there is due to the TNF alpha, TNFR1 complex formation, initiatory caspases are directly activated. So don't you think extrinsic pathway is very much, I can think it's so much, I fear this pathway because it directly activates. In the intrinsic pathway, I have to first activate the P53, then I have to take BCL2 out of that way, then I have to activate Bucks and Buck, then I have to start producing cytochrome C, and then cytochrome C will come into cytoplasm. Long story. But I'm not telling that. I'm saying that, this is logical conclusion you can draw. In the death receptor pathway, you have to directly TNF alpha, TNF1 directly kill the cell. I will understand. So this executionary caspase is doing a hell lot of things to this apoptotic process. It is, destroying the cytoskeleton. It is destroying the nucleus. It is forming even. Now this material has to be thrown out. What you have to do is, do you want to make a rubbish bag or not? Yes, sir. Just make a rubbish bag here. This is the rubbish bag I can make. This is called a cytoplasmic pleb. This is called a cytoplasmic pleb. Cytoplasmic pleb will form. A cytoplasmic pleb will form, and that cytoplasmic pleb will contain everything in it. That is nuclear fragments, mitochondria, and these cytoskeletal fragments of that cell. Now who will come? Who will come? Yeah, hero is out there. He is already there. This guy is with his mouth open. Macrophage. Macrophage will start. This is called apoptotic body, you can say. Apoptotic bodies will be digested by. Was there any inflammation? Do you think there was any cytokine? There was any problem? Systemic inflammation started, erythema, redness. Nothing happened, guys. Nothing happened. Okay. So intrinsic pathway, you came across caspase 9. Executionary extrinsic pathway, initiator caspase, caspase 8. See, IN means 9. IN means 9. This is how I remember, guys. IN means 9. Intrinsic pathway, remember one caspase, caspase 9. Executioner caspase 367. 367. Executionary caspase, it's common, 367. Extrinsic pathway, initiator caspase, E4X, E4 8. I can't make it more simpler for you. If you people are not learning at home, then it's a problem for you. We are giving you feeding with spoon. We are feeding you with spoon. Still you are not able to understand, then yeah, you should work hard, more work hard. We are keeping it, spoon, giving you a spoonful of Kellogg's Chocos. So this is intrinsic pathway has caspase 9 as initial So initiator 9, in is 9, initiator for intrinsic, initiator for x is 8, that is Caspase 8, x is not something else, it's 8 x. Okay, I will understand, guys. So what will happen is this apoptotic body, it will produce some, itself will act as a ligand, it will produce some ligands on its surface, and these ligands will be then bind to the appropriate receptors on the macrophage and will start the process of degradation. And that's what apoptosis is. Okay, so see what you'll be appreciating in the microscope. If I give you a microscopic a microscope, I give you a a slide and I tell me what are the features, how you can tell me that this cell is under the phase of apoptosis. So what you see is, you will see those cells will have what are the microscopic findings of apoptotic cells. The microscopic findings pathologically, this is important. You will be seeing more eosinophilic cytoplasm, more eosinophilic cytoplasm. That is, once you are doing an H&E staining, you will be appreciating a high eosinophilic cytoplasm. Nucleus will be fragmented or can be in pycnotic phase, or sometimes not present. It will depend on that cell. And will you see any neutrophils? Guys, will you see any neutrophils in apoptosis? Guys, will you see any neutrophils in apoptosis? No, never, sir, never. No neutrophils, no inflammatory mediating cells, no, nothing, because it's a clean way of killing. Okay, so this is what is apoptosis, and this is what you have to remember. I want to tell you that what features we saw, on this, uh, of apoptosis. What things you were appreciating? I think first thing we appreciated was, uh, there was no inflammation. So conclusion from above discussion. The conclusion I can get is, number one, there was no inflammation. There was no inflammation. That is, there was, can I say, there was membrane was intact. There was no digestion of the membrane proteins. There was no phospholipase activation. And the second thing what I saw is, I saw carrier hexes. I saw endonucleases were activated. And then they led to the chromatin condensation. I had a chromatin condensation. Okay. And also I appreciated the cell size was shrinking. Because why? Because, sir, you produced proteases. Proteases will destroy the cytoskeletal proteins. Okay, so this is what you see. And by the way, cell shrinking is the first thing you will appreciate in the apoptosis. Now they ask you another thing. They ask you, what is the gel electrophoresis finding? Gel electrophoresis finding of apoptotic nucleic material. Okay, this is what they ask you. See, if I do the gel electrophoresis of my nucleic acid, which is normal, or a cell which is having a normal nucleic acid, which is not under the necrosis, which is not under the apoptosis, I will get a single band in the electrophoresis. I don't have an image, you can check the book. You will get a single band. But if I have a apoptotic cell, Apoptotic cell will show me step ladder pattern. Step ladder. So step ladder pattern is shown by apoptosis, apoptotic nuclear material. And what will then, sir? Necrotic. Necrotic is smear. Necrotic will show smear pattern. So you have to remember them. Necrotic will show smear pattern. Okay, guys. Okay. So, do you know this P53 gene, the guardian? Do we know this P53 gene? P53 gene, you call it, it is the guardian of genome. It is an anti-apoptotic gene. And once you have a DNA damage, you will activate this. Once you have a DNA damage, you will activate this. Like here, what was happening? The DNA was damaging and I was activating the P53. Now tell me one thing. What is the normal function of P53? Why P17P, sir? 17. 7 to the 14, 14. How to make a combination? If I want you to remember, how I remember? By the way, I have my own periodic table for genes that I will be giving you soon in my special video. Okay. That has not been done by anyone. So I will do is 17 P53. So it is present on the 17P. So P53 gene is coded by chromosome number 53, protein 17P. Now, if I have mutation in P53, now what is the normal function of P53? Anti-apoptosis. The normal function of P53 is anti-apoptosis. Anti-apoptosis. But once I have a mutation, that is loss of function mutation, I will be having apoptosis. I will be decreasing the anti-apoptosis. That is, I will be more promoting towards apoptosis. Is this true statement or false statement? Whatever I said, you are listening. You know, very easily you are listening, but not thinking what I am speaking. Do you? If you want a mutation in P53, do you want the mutation? If you want to make a cancer cell, let us draw like this. If you want to make a cancer cell, should you increase the apoptosis or decrease the apoptosis? You should decrease the apoptosis. So if you have mutation of P53, that means you will decrease the apoptosis. You will decrease the apoptosis. So that means you will have cancer, isn't it? So can you tell me some examples where we have P53 causing disease, cancers? Can you tell me any cancer name? Cervical cancer. Do we know Sabla? Do we know Sabla syndrome? Sabla syndrome, don't you know? Sabla syndrome, that is sarcoma, breast, leukemia, adrenal gland. Don't you know Sabla syndrome? Okay, let us write for you. Sabla syndrome, sarcoma. Okay, by the way, what is Sabla syndrome? Li-Fraumeni. It's the other name of Li-Fraumeni syndrome. Li-Fraumeni syndrome has, patient is presenting to us in a very younger age, his early ages of his life, and he's presenting with multiple malignancies. He's presenting to us with multiple malignancies. Sabla, sarcoma, breast, leukemia, adrenal gland. This is how we know this. Sarcoma, breast, leukemia, and adrenal gland. Sabla syndrome. Okay, is it okay, my friends? Are we clear? Can you tell me the name of the initiator caspase in the intrinsic pathway? Intrinsic pathway initiator caspase, guys. Beautiful answer. Caspase 9. And what about executioner caspase, initiator caspase? Initiator caspase in executioner pathway. Extrinsic pathway. No, initiator caspase, extrinsic pathway. Beautiful answer. That's it. So you remember this. Okay. Apoptosis will show dash pattern on electrophoresis. Beautiful answer. Step lateral pattern. Can you tell me one cell organelle which can show us apoptosis in the cell? Which organelle will come into your mind? Cellular mitochondria. That's a beautiful answer. Enzymes in the apoptosis called as dash. Beautiful answer. Okay. There are other two concepts which I want to tell you, that is pyroptosis and uh, necroptosis. I think today we have finished this apoptosis, and I hope you have understood this. We'll be taking that in the next lecture. But is there any doubt from you people? Please, any questions you have? Is there any doubt in apoptosis? Will you be definitely taking the answer and coming home if you have a question from apoptosis? See guys, we have given you everything. We have taught you from the beginning the physiology, the pathological apoptosis. We have told you every significance. We have told you follicular lymphoma also, isn't it? I told you follicular lymphoma. Please remember that example. Follicular lymphoma. Follicular lymphoma is happening because I am having a BCL2 more expression. If I have more expression of BCL2, that's what will happen in the follicular lymphoma. That is translocation 1480. Translocation 1418. I don't know why I love medicine. Translocation 1418 will lead to caspase inhibition. Will lead to caspase inhibition. Let us give you this example so that you can remember. And then this will lead to tumor formation. Bridge between the three is caspase 3. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Because 367, I told you it's the executioner caspase. So executioner caspase is here. Okay. Can we see this? Already shown to you. Okay. So any other doubt, guys? Is it clear now? We have already drawn this in the chart. Please draw this chart very cool. Okay. And I hope I haven't. So BCL2, you can remember one clinical thing here. That is, where is BCL2? Here is the BCL2. So remember follicular lymphoma, translocation 1480. Okay. So BCL2, you are increasing, caspase will inhibit. Caspase will inhibit. You are decreasing the, it's not basically, I can't strictly use this word inhibit, because it's not that way inhibiting. It's, I can say activation is not happening. There is less activation. There is decreased caspase activation. So once you increase the BCL2, the best word to use here is not inhibition actually. It should be decreased caspase activation. Decreased caspase activation. Okay. So I hope you have enjoyed my lectures and I have tried my best to give you all the content you need in your entrance exam that we need as a doctors. So if you have any doubts, please you can message me, or you can, the comment section is disabled because some people are, putting some of those comments which is, against the, the terms and conditions of YouTube. And that's why to, prevent that content the people are posting in the comments, I'm keeping disabling that comment section. Yeah, very nice question, sir. What will be the effect if BCLC? Once you are having BCL2 is more, if you have more BCL2, the Bucks and Buck will not be converted. The Bucks and Buck will not be converted. What was happening is P53 was activating the Bucks and Buck. But what is happening? Listen here. Bucks and Buck is activated by P53. Once your head is telling you this is the head of some place, and he's bringing something, he's telling directly to this person that go there and activate. Your BCL2 will get changed. They won't work because you have a DNA damage, and cell is not letting the the cell machinery is such that it is not letting the cell to remain on the mercy of BCL2. Okay, so what it does is it tells the P53 to get activated. It tells the P53 to activate Bucks and Buck, and that will directly put the holes, I can say, that will put the holes on the mitochondrial membrane. Okay, but if you are having more expression of BCL2, that is your cell is normal, that won't happen. Cell knows that when I have to overexpress and less express, unless there is a carcinoma or something. Okay, so it happens in a regulated manner. It happens in a regulated manner. Genetics and proteins, they are talking to each other every time. Okay, we have messenger proteins also there who are checking every time. It's all about a concept of what to say, enzymes and messengers and activation and inhibition. It's all that concept. Okay, any other doubt we have? Yeah, in cancer cells you should have, for example, one example I told you, follicular lymphoma, that you have more expression of BCL2. Once you have more expression of BCL2, BCL2 is an anti-apoptotic gene. It will prevent the release of cytochrome C and will decrease the caspase activation, because cytochrome C is not coming out. How can you activate a caspase? Finally leads to tumorigenesis. We had a word in follicular lymphoma, or tumorigenesis. Tumorigenesis. Okay. Finally will lead to tumorigenesis. Okay, Fabina. Clear? Any other doubts we have? Okay, thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. And we will be uploading all the pathology here. Okay. So I hope it's helping you out in understanding the concepts. And thank you very much. God bless you. See you in next class. Bye bye.